Okay, so policies. The first policy I want to talk about is the policy that everybody wants to talk about, which is the open borders and the mass immigration crisis that we have here in Ireland. Now, the guiding principle from Irish people that I agreed to abide by when I joined that anti party is on migration, a sensible immigration policy. So that's just the guiding principle. Uh, Although with hindsight, sensible is an incredibly subjective word, isn't it? I'm sure the government will say, well, a sensible immigration policy is to keep doing what we're doing, even though the nonsense of it all. But, okay, so what would my sensible immigration policy be? Okay, well, first of all, I think it would be sensible. And any sensible immigration policy, anything that I think is sensible, will undoubtedly be immediately labelled as either radical or extreme by the globalist naysayers. And the globalist naysayers being the government, the mainstream media, particularly RTE, and the NGO network that exists here in Ireland. Those would be all the people that would say that, oh, that's extreme, that's radical, all these things, dangerous, all these things. So my policies would be, okay, we all know what the problem is. We've got thousands of foreigners flooding into the country, whilst thousands of our young Irish leaving the country. So first things first, we've got too many at this point. Nobody can deny that. Even the tents up around the IPETS, the centre in Dublin, all around the country. They're jamming them into hotels and anywhere they can find a spot, and it's causing real strife with Newton Mount Kennedy being the peak visual, if you like, of the whole thing, of Irish men and women being battered off the streets by An Garda Síochána to facilitate the plantation of foreign men who we don't know. That's not good. That's not good at all. That really was good. Anyway, I don't want to get off the policy. My policy would be like this. Step one. Okay, we need to stop the crisis getting any worse. We need to close. Be careful this. Close the borders to any whatever economic migrant, asylum seeker, any foreigner coming in the country. We do not. If you're a foreigner coming to the country, there will be no benefits from the Irish taxpayer for you. Full stop. This message needs to get communicated loudly and directly to the whole world by the Irish government that Ireland is full. Sorry about that now, but it's full. And now this would take exactly 24 hours. And it's important that it does happen in 24 hours, because there's no much point in the Irish government we're going to say Ireland's full in 2 months' time or something, and give everybody who isn't here yet a chance to get, okay, you've got 8 weeks to get here. So if they try and pull that, that's going to be transparent that that's what they're doing. It needs to be just a sudden, overnight. Those boys can knock together a bit of legislation, no bother at all when they want to. Overnight, legislation done, Ireland is full, act, whatever, and no more asylum seekers, economic migrants, anything. Foreigners coming into Ireland will be accepted if they're here, if they're expecting to get some sort of benefits from the Irish taxpayer. That's it. So we stop the problem getting any worse as a first. And Roderick O'Gorman and his whole department need to retweet in the same languages, Georgian, Albanian, Arabic, all the rest, to all the same places where they sent out the original, please come to Ireland and you'll have your own home and a weekly stipend and all the rest of it for free. That ridiculous, treasonous tweet that went out, I think he should really, when this is over, look, I'm not going into that, the stick with policies. But they need to, everywhere that was tweeted, please come to Ireland, get a free home, needs to get retweeted now. Ireland is full, that offer has expired. That's step one. Let's try and get this, because I'm awful blathering these videos, 4 minutes. Step two. Okay, now we need to understand who is here legally and who is here illegally. And that's going to take more than 24 hours. But we need to find all the people that are here illegally and, again, this is radical, and return them to their country of origin or however they got here. There's going to be awkwardness in trying to the practicalities on the ground of actually getting that done. But so first of all, as soon as you're identified as illegal, bang, that's it. Benefits from the Irish taxpayer, stop. You're here illegally. And with regards to that, again, probably going to sound radical and all the rest of it. I don't care. This is what I consider sensible policy. Everyone that's here illegally should be fingerprinted and sent back to wherever they come from. And so we then, the Irish, have a record. Now you can share that off to Interpol and all the rest of it. I wouldn't have an awful lot of faith in all of that. But as long as the Irish border people have the fingerprints of the people that were here illegally before. So if they try to come back in, you try to come in, you get a fingerprint. Oh, no, you were here before. No, sorry, back you go. And now at that point, that leaves us with a country with, so we don't have any more immigration coming in. And we have the illegals, at least in some sort of, we have them identified, their benefits have been cut off, so there's nothing here for them anymore. They probably just leave by themselves. A lot of them at that point find somewhere, some other European country that's not quite ahead, as far ahead as Ireland than that. And so, right, at that point then, we have a country with any immigrants here being legal immigrants here. And at that point then, we haven't got this information. We need to do an evaluation at that point. Okay, how many are here? What percentage of the population do we have here that is non-national? And then we need to have a proper discussion, Ireland-wide. What is the maximum number of foreign nationals do we want living in Ireland? Once we've got rid of the illegal ones, then we'll know how many we have. And then we decide, okay, how many do we actually want? Now, I've tried talking to a few people with this. This is crazy. Everybody's got their own opinion on this. But for me, I imagine the absolute maximum in that should be 5%. And that's maybe too high. Maybe 3% or even 1% or something like that. But then we can debate all that. This is a decision for the Irish people to make. How many non-nationals, non-Irish people do we want living in Ireland? A small minority is what I'm saying. And even then, the foreigners that come in to work in Ireland, I would say this is going to be on a temporary basis, and we actually use that to for skill gap for jobs where we're lacking in our own industry. To bring in temporary foreign workers to do that whilst we train up our own guys so we can become self-sufficient in that area again. These guys come across, they make some money and all the rest of it. They're happy, they're great, contract's up, they go back to their own country, everything's great relations. So that's kind of the loose outline. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Step 1, stop, close the borders now. 2, not to Irish people now. Yeah, we're going to be very careful we don't get into this mass surveillance kind of a state thing where everybody's getting tracked. Do not dare fingerprint an Irish man or woman going to and from his own country or her own country. But that's it. Step 1, stop the problem getting worse. Step 2, get rid of the illegals. Step 3, see where we're at and then decide how many we want and take it from there. This sounds like a sensible immigration policy to me. It will no doubt be labelled extreme and radical and all the rest of it by the government, by the mainstream media and by the NGOs. That's it. That's my sensible immigration policy. Thanks.